music. Schadrac music. Schadrac music.
Team of academic staff of the University of Rwanda College of Education, composed of Dr. VICENT MANIRAKIZA, Dr. Dan Maniriho, Dr. Innocent Muhire, Mrs. Delphine Mokingambeho, and Mr. Mahison Nyeshema, has conducted a research project that resulted from the initial call for research grant made by the Leaders in Teaching Initiative, LEAD, funded by the MasterCard Foundation and implemented in partnership with the University of Rwanda College of Education. LEAD aims at building the capacity of URCE academic staff, including the strengthening of their research skills. We were blessed to meet with some members of the team for a short interview. The purpose of our interaction was to know something about the research output. Dr. MANIRAKIZA is the principal investigator, while Mrs. Delphine Mokingambeho and Mr. Mahison Nyeshema are researchers. The study is entitled Application of a Competence-Based Approach in Teaching Geography in Secondary Schools, Practices, Challenges, and Perspectives.
The project was founded by MasterCard Foundation in collaboration with URC through the program of LEAD, which is Leaders in Teaching Initiative. The context of the study is that current education trend is to connect learning with society needs. That is why since 2015, Rwandan secondary education is implementing competence-based curriculum to produce more skillful human resources capable to contribute to the development of the Rwanda. And competence-based approach requires pedagogical, technical, and managerial aspects, but challenges have been reported by different researchers that mentioned that there are still need to be improved in CBC application. So that is why we have conducted this research to evaluate, first of all, the preparedness of the teachers in applying CBC, the relevance and the suitability of geographic teaching aids and teaching methods applied in secondary schools, to assess the knowledge and competencies acquired by students, and then to really identify the challenges and suggest the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for the updates provided. Now let us hear from Mrs. Delphine. Can you please brief us on the research methods you used in your study?
Thank you. The study follows a quantitative cross-sectional design. The target population of the study was limited to geography teachers and students in schools having geography as the core subject. Teachers were chosen as key informants because they were the masters of teaching and learning process in the classroom, but also in the school environment because they directly interact with school leaders and students. A self-reported questionnaire was given to 13 teachers and a test was administered to 123 students of Senior 5 and Senior 6 in order to assess their competencies referring to the requirement of the secondary school curriculum. Students were assessed on what they have learned in physical, human, and economic geography when they were in senior 5 and senior 4. The concerned schools were purposefully chosen based on 5 criteria. Schools offering a combination that includes geography as one of the major subjects, private and public schools, boarding and day public secondary schools, rural, urban, and semi-urban schools, and their distribution across provinces and the city of Kigali. By considering these 5 criteria, we have sampled 6 schools, namely Groupe Scolaire Mukamira in Nyabihu District, Western Province with 4 teachers, Groupe Scolaire Notre-Dame des Apôtres d'Oroaza in Musanze District, Northern Province with 1 teacher, Groupe Scolaire Jabana in Gasabo District, City of Kigali with 2 teachers, Groupe Scolaire Saint-André in Nyarugenge District, City of Kigali with 2 teachers, Brurex International School in Bugesera District, Eastern Province with 3 teachers, and the Gahogo Adventist Academy in Muhanga District with 1 teacher.
Mrs. Delphine went on to talk about the research results.
In terms of the results, the findings revealed that teachers of all schools have confidence in their students' ability to achieve expected learning outcomes in geography. However, referring to the results of the test given to students, it was noticed that teachers' confidence was contrasted in some schools with the reality on the ground. This implies that some teachers don't know their students, yet it is one of the required knowledge for teachers to be effective. Therefore, there is a need to raise teachers' awareness about their student achievement ability through continuous training, and much effort should be invested in student learning to maximize CBC learning outcomes for all schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Delphine. Mr. Mahusen, do you have something to tell about the research findings as far as learners' competencies are concerned?
Concerning the competencies of learners, the findings show that the learning outcomes as per CBC requirements are relatively achieved despite some challenges that hinder the effective teaching learning process in geography. It was observed that the learners from boarding schools, which are better equipped in terms of teaching materials, qualified staff, and the using of the cutting-edge teaching methods, are the most performant.
Considering the types of the schools, what was the impact of learners' competencies?
The research reveals that other factors related to school location, rural vis-a-vis urban areas, and the status of the school, private and public, do not have a significant impact on the learner's acquisition of competencies. In addition, it was observed that students are familiar with the relevant theories in human and physical geography, and they have acquired the competencies and the skills related to various topics, including geography curriculum, among others, the consequences of related population growth, the causes of soil erosion, types of pollution, the consequences of soil erosion, and the economic activities like agriculture, the pressure from the growing population on the natural resources, etc., etc. It was, however, a variation in the familiarity and the acquired competencies depending on the types of the schools. Students from boarding schools were showing a higher level of familiarity and acquired competencies than students from day schools. The variation was not significant when students are compared based on school location, that means rural or urban areas, and the status of the school, which means private vis-a-vis public.
Let us come back to Dr. VICENT. Dear doctor, do you have something you can add?
The results of the study also show that most of geography teachers in upper secondary schools have required qualification and experience, but do not receive enough pre- and in-service training to help them effectively apply CBC in teaching geography. Successful application of CBC in geography is also impeded by the lack of necessary teaching and learning materials, as well as the commitment or the engagement of the student. Therefore, the research is suggesting that there should be improvement of quality teaching and learning materials and the provision of regular training to teachers, training which are related to CBC approach and principles, as well as teaching methods. Thank you.
Music.